Welcome, hello again to another unhinged, prolonged ramble of my art escapades that I have taken to call a time-lapse doodle yap. Quick note before I venture too far, just to give you a little bit of visual context for the quality of what is happening exactly here in the makeshift recording studio that is the top of my desk. I am holding a device, a recording device, if you will. It's called a pop filter. It's basically just a mesh that prevents some unwanted sounds that happen when you record voices. And this pop filter sucks. It's not good. Objectively, it's terrible. And I just discovered after having this thing for probably like 5 or 6 years, you can just unscrew the little fastener base that comes with it. And that is a game changer. Or at least I imagine it will be once I figure out why that is a useful or good thing to do. So the base already sucks. That much is a given. It's one of those clamps that screws onto a desk, but the thing is it's shaped terribly and it's got it doesn't make sense. I don't understand why they made it the way they did, and it would be hard to describe exactly what it's shaped like, but just take my word for it when I say that it's bad. I've unscrewed it and I'm holding it in my hands like a little goblin up to the microphone as though I were whispering into a giant lollipop. Imagine a little twirly helicopter cap on me as I lick my lollipop and provide sleep-deprived ramble for you before I go into the content of this actual art piece. Now, before I go into this actual art piece that you are seeing unfold before your very eyes, oh, beautiful hearts! Look at those hearts, beautiful. I've been experimenting, recording, teaching myself the lay of the land, if you will, getting competent, not just competent, but skilled in the art of podcasting and documenting my own voice. So I've been doing this for years, actually. And when I say years, I mean for a period of years off and on as I hyperfixate on various hobbies for a period of maybe a week or two. I have recorded my voice over the years. But there are, things about the art of hosting a podcast and recording your voice that I'll admit I don't have those down yet, and I'm still learning. It's all a work in progress. But I'm experimenting with the way that I allow my voice to be received into a microphone, and here we go. We're going to go into some gender stuff. Can you believe it? We're talking about gender in 2025. Oh my goodness, so controversial. So prior to what you would call my transitory awakening, I was described as an individual who had a radio voice. I personally still don't know what the fuck that means, but it stuck with me, and I always thought to myself, what can people be meaning when they say that? So through the process of vocal training, which is something that we who endure magical girl transformations are known to do, because that is one of our um, it's just one of our secret hidden abilities, our talents, if you will, of uh, making our inner dialogue and outward projection. Um, Through that process, there was just a whole period of like figuring out, oh, okay, if I put inflection on this kind of word in this way, then it can be received more femme. And if I speak with a booming chest voice, all of a sudden it's received as more masc. And then it's just this conscious combination of both of these things that kind of make up what your like vocal gender expression ends up being. It's this whole mental math thing that I don't have the energy to go into. But it's like, so we who endure the magical girl transformation have to have this conversation of, who do I want to be on the other end of this process? And a lot of us, I feel, don't necessarily have strong answers. And while I might have had some idea in my head, I, for instance, really like Charlie's voice from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That was kind of an early inspiration for me, even though I don't think my natural accent kind of tends toward that range. That was kind of the vibe I wanted to channel, at least at an early point in my magical girl transformation state. Ultimately, what I've landed on is I've described it as an androgynous frog voice. I don't necessarily even know how to describe my own voice. Some people have said that it is breathy, and I think in moments it can be, especially when I'm going into like my customer service kind of shtick, like answering the phone, or if I'm at a job and I'm like interfacing with colleagues, I'm like, um, oh yeah, I'll get that to you at the end of the day. Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, like just give me like until after lunch, whatever the fuck. That I can see that as a description, but now I promise you, we're rounding the block on this little tangent, and we're coming back to home base. After all of these years, the term radio voice still fucking evades all comprehension to my brain. And I've Googled it, and I'm like, what the fuck does it mean? What does it mean? And I try to listen to podcasts that I enjoy listening to. Um, and I try to like analyze, like, okay, what does this voice sound like? Like, what are the qualities of this voice that make it pleasant to listen to? And I try my best to like pinpoint it to see if there's like some kind of like secret code of a infectious earwig vocal artist that just is the thing that makes people want to listen to that voice. I have no fucking clue still after all this time, and I'm tempted to just give up and just be like, you know what, whatever, I'm going to do my thing. It's going to be my thing. My voice is going to be whatever it is. You would not believe the size of the silent yawn that I just performed. All of this to say, I'm going to try to, I don't know, play around a little bit with the kind of tone that I show up to. And I think this is normally I don't think this is a very interesting conversation to have out loud. except for the gender piece. I actually think this is kind of a unique thing because there are not there just don't resources don't exist for like, huh, what does a trans podcaster voice sound like? Like, what is a good trans podcaster voice? It doesn't exist because we're a very tiny amount of people, and at least I'm openly thinking about it with my mouth whole. So take that for what you will, and that brings us to 11 minutes in. I'm going to talk to you about this ridiculous nonsense that you happen to be seeing on your screen at the present moment. So, okay. I am making an autobiographical comic, and I have been making an autobiographical comic for a period of months. And then it became a period of a year plus. And the thing is, I expected this to be done a long time ago. And it was in a state where I was saying, like, oh my god, it's going to be done in like just a couple months. I just need like a few more like good weeks working on this thing, and it's going to get to a state where I can start printing it and giving copies to my friends and selling it to like local bookstores and stuff like that. And you will not believe what happened. I am being completely serious with you when I say at the 70% done mark of this project, I was like, you know what would be fun? I'm going to change the file folder icon of my working file to an orb, because I think orbs are funny and they're cool, and I like them and I like to ponder them. So I literally changed the default folder icon to orb.ico, which is a file extension for Windows icon image files. And that was all well and good, right up until the moment that my OCD brain struck. And boy, did it struck. It struck with the weight of a truck. And the weight of that truck did struck my entire working folder straight into the recycling bin, which is a good thing. The recycling bin is where deleted files go. You already know this because everybody uses computers in 2025. But that is where my OCD brain struck again. Because my OCD brain, my tendencies, my habits, I'm just wanting to throw things away because I'm like, this object is stressing me out. Or this file on my desktop is stressing me out. And I will just highlight a bunch of stuff that I'm pretty sure is trash, right-click, delete, and then immediately go up to my recycling bin, right-click, empty. And this was one of those fateful days when I did that. I did it pretty thoughtlessly. It was during lunch. It was during a lunch break at my previous job, and I thought nothing of it. And then I was approaching the last half hour of my duties, my shift in the office, and I was like, okay, I got half an hour to kill. I'm supposed to close up the office today, so I finished all my things I'm supposed to be doing. I'm gonna bust out my file and see if I can finish up this last little drawing on the page. Oh God, where is my file? Where is my file? Where is my working document? You already know what happened. I deleted the fucker. I deleted 7 months of consistent work that I was toiling away on almost every night I had the opportunity to, when I wasn't otherwise socially engaged, and when I had the energy. Like, this was devastating to me. And of course I cried. Who wouldn't cry? I was a dummy. I was being a ditzy Dumbo. And I did a dumb. And I had no one else to blame but myself. So, after a period of being very depressed and meditating, I was like trying to channel my inner bodhisattva and be like, there is some kind of wisdom to be learned about deleting 7 months of work. Clearly this is my karma or something. No, I'm sorry, no. Meditation's great. I'm all for the Eightfold Path and walking the middle way and all that stuff. That didn't need to happen. That didn't need to happen. I didn't learn anything cool. The moral of the story, if there is one, is do not change the folder icon image to an orb. Just don't. Don't do it. Because your brain, my brain, which associates like a standard default folder icon image with like, oh, this is a thing that includes a lot of important information and documents. That doesn't work anymore. My brain doesn't have that association when it's just a picture of a silly little orb. So, yeah. This autobiographical comic is appropriately titled Don't Give Up. And let me tell you, I wanted to give up. I wanted to give up so bad. I wanted to give up so bad when this happened. And then I was like, well, the title of the comic is Don't Give Up, so I'm literally not allowed to stop. So, here I am now, sort of reeling with the fact that I have off and on worked on this thing for now years of my life, and it's not finished. And I don't think it's particularly close to finished right now, but it was at one point. And there's just a lot of emotional labor of like doing the same work over again. And I will say, like, it is true that like it will be better. It will be a better product at the end of it. But dude, fellow friend, that didn't need to happen. And there's a lot of weight behind this project now. So it's a little bit of a back burner thing. It still exists. I still fully intend to get to it. But after this whole escapade, this very silly, easily avoidable instance, I'm like, just taking a solid break. The thing is, though, if I can actually talk about the project, it relates to mental health, it relates to creativity, it relates to mental barriers that we kind of place in front of ourselves to disallow us from getting the things that we actually want and from doing the things that we actually want to do. And it's called Don't Give Up because, honestly, there have been times in my life, and there are many currently, where I just need to be told not to give up. And that sounds pretty depressing. And I'm not going to lie. The project does come from, it does come from a lot of, metabolized, kind of processed emotions that initially began as pretty dark thoughts, but it's like I, came out the other side of those things with some observations and some thoughts that I wanted to share with the world, which is why I decided to make a comic about it. And it is going to happen, and it is happening. Slowly and surely, just as the day is long and as the sun will rise, this thing will get done. And it's going to be something I'm very proud of when that happens. But I deserve a break. And I guess now that I'm sharing it with you, it's a sign that maybe that break is coming to an end. Well, thank you so much for listening. This has been me yapping at you. Hope you have a lovely day. Bye.